Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, when we change up the voting laws again. So, currently we're on landed voting. Landed voting gives just a huge amount of power to the landowners. So we have some options in terms of changing them up, but I think the most likely one and best is wealth voting, which is going to transfer a bunch of power from the landowners to the industrialists and the Intelligentsia. Now, obviously, the landowners are not going to be happy with that. They will probably start a revolutionary movement about it. But we have some defensive pacts, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just to break it down, we get 100 authority, and landed voting is 100 legitimacy based on government clout, 40 based on votes. So the votes don't matter that much. It's mostly the money. Plus 1 government size allowance, but minus 20% legitimacy penalty from, or plus 20% legitimacy penalty from ideological incompatibility, and then a flat 50 political strength from the votes for aristocrats, capitalists, clergymen, and officers. 50 from aristocrats, and then 25 from capitalists, clergymen, and officers. So only these classes vote. If we go to wealth voting, we're going to reduce the amount of legitimacy based on government clout by 25, increase the amount of legitimacy based on votes by 25. It's going to get a global vote, but it's only going to be for pops with wealth of 25 or higher, which is going to be overwhelmingly industrialists and aristocrats anyway. We're still going to have that legitimacy penalty from ideological incompatibility, but that's okay. The one really good thing about oligarchy is reduced ideological incompatibility penalties. So we'll do this. And, if it goes bad, it goes bad. Anyway, we got some items over here to take care of before we get started. A Foreign Manifesto. The recently translated works of Ma Kang-an have become popular in the movement to enact homesteading. The relationship has developed to the point of Ma Kang openly endorsing the movement. And for a whole large class, there is no other road, especially for a nation so eminently practical as the Portuguese. The great thing is to get the working class to move as a class. That once obtained, they will soon find the right direction, and all who resist will be left out in the cold with small sects of their own. Our struggle is an international one, plus 10 political movement support, or, as foreign interference ought to be punished, minus 5 support, plus 10 radicalism, royal folk, weaker. I'm going to go with the first one. This is not a bad movement to have at this stage. Devout scandal. It has been revealed that Teodoro Gil of the Catholic Church has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. The very fact that this sneaky bastard thought he could get away with such a gross misuse of power shows everything wrong with the leadership of the Catholic Church. The people must know of his depravity, or ignore it. I'm going to say the people must know of his depravity. There's a minus 50 popularity. Hopefully that'll weaken the Catholic Church further. Action and reaction. As news escaped Constantinople of yet another violent crackdown on the Ottoman labor movement, outraged members of the trade unions have taken to the streets of Lisbon, marching under the banner of the Anti-Ottoman League. In the imagination of the Portuguese labor movement, the Ottoman Empire had long loomed as a bastion of reaction, but something felt different about this particular incident. Perhaps the violence exhibited by the Constantinople constabulary had been especially brutal this time. Perhaps it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. In any case, the Portuguese workers unfurled their banners and marched down towards the ambassadorial quarter, their cries for the overthrow of Sultan Mehmet Osmanoglu reverberating throughout the city like never before. As long as their anger is focused abroad, trade unions join the Anti-Ottoman League, or temper their rage with diplomatic action. Trade unions get stronger, relations deteriorate. Not stronger, happier. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't particularly care to antagonize the Ottoman Empire right now. Alright. Let's get this kicked off. We're going to have a counter movement here almost assuredly, but we'll see how that goes. So how are things going with Burma? We are improving relations right now. The lead mines are in the process of being built, or will be very shortly. That's going to help. There's a movement to preserve landed voting. They are... I was about to say they're not revolutionary yet. here they are. So hopefully we can make it there. About equal chance of success and stall, but all of the not success or stall chance is advanced pretty much, so I'm feeling pretty good about our overall capabilities. And I'm feeling pretty happy about having a defensive pact with Great Britain when this thing pops off, because I don't really need to worry that much about having a movement go buck wild, because I can bring in the British to help suppress any issues. So, where are they going to get? Just Beira and 8% chance of Alentejo, which is not bad at all. They'll get a chunk of the armies, but we'll be fine. I'll be able to bring in the army of East Africa without a problem. In fact, anticipating this eventual possibility, we'll just put the army of East Africa right in Portugal. I don't want to mess around with this. So we'll see what happens. We're likely to get some nasty events. Covert agitation. Revolutionary sympathizers have begun to agitate for anti-government causes in the barracks at Beira. The state has forsaken every right it has to order your bloodshed. You must realize this. Even beyond Beira, people like you and I are organizing to demand an end to this nightmare. It starts with you and I, us common soldiers, the ones they trust to do their will. Will that happen when they finally see that there is no one... What will happen when they finally see that there is no one to stand behind them? The armed forces must be loyal to the state above all else. Civil War minus 5%, armed forces happier. Or those who control the soldiers control the nation. Civil War progress goes up by 5%. Barracks get minus 10% throughput. 5% of servicemen pops and Beira become more radical. I see. I'm going to do the first one. Keeping the armed forces happy is critical. At this stage of the game. We are actually doing rock solid with this situation. We got 46 K in war operations, so we are actually in the black at balance. So I am going to go ahead and throw some more construction sectors into construction. And heck it, I'm going to put 2 more in Extremadura. This might be a mistake. This might be too many at once, but I think it's going to be worth it. Oh, and we're finally in good relations with China. That's excellent. Also, I'm getting a little low on bureaucracy. Hey, there's logistics. Wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of the government sectors in Extremadura as well. Heavy-handedness. Maria de Braganca mistook an enemy in the armed forces. After accusing them of false charges, moderates in the armed forces defected to the landowners' cause. The briefest flash of anger can make an enemy of a friendly face. It can make even the staunchest allies split each other over a misunderstanding. And once it is cast, there is no going back. Their new bedfellows may not be so accommodating. Civil War goes up by 5%. 50% chance of landowners and armed forces stronger. 50% chance of Candido de Queiroz. An armed forces guy gets defection backfired, reduces his... So weaker armed forces. Or she should stand down. She gets a popularity penalty, and Civil War progress goes down by 5%. I'm going to go with the first one, so we'll see what happens. We'll check if we got a good result. We did not. So that made their their faction stronger, which is okay. It's fine. We got trios spreading to us now, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And hopefully we can make this happen before this situation is able to get its radical... No, stop it. Stop going up. Stop going up. It's okay. It's fine. All right. Let's take a look at our subject states. Belungan is close to being able to be turned into a a dominion. As is Maguinda now. Maguinda now is going down, not fast, but they are going down. Belangana is going down as well. But Burma is really the ideal. Well, they're not going down by much at all, but we're in the process of improving relations with them, so that's part of why that's happening. Sedition among the Catholic Church. Prominent members of the Catholic Church have been found to be using their privileged position in society to encourage radically anti-government activities. Portugal is split between two irreconcilable camps, said the priest. One of them pursues a policy of anti-Portuguese and anti-religious terror. The other side pursues a policy of respect for God and seeks to restore the natural order. With these in mind, who else could any good-hearted person stand behind? They are not sacrosanct as long as they continue to meddle in politics. Interest group approval -5. Well, that's a big problem. Change progress of civil war -5. 5% of clergymen become more radical, and they get weaker. Or we cannot be known as executioners of priests. Civil war progress goes up. Catholic Church gets stronger, but their opinion does not change. I'm going to do the second one. Them being stronger is not great, but it's not bad. Let's go ahead and, if we drop the tax rate, we'll get 5 legitimacy out of it. Oh, we're only at 43 right now. What will the cash flow change be? 20k? I can live with that for now. I'm going to drop taxes to low, and what that's going to do is that's going to give us a contented government. Or a contested government rather than an unacceptable government. And that's going to increase the speed at which we get this done. Great Britain colonized Zambia. Oh, that's not great. Finances still seem rock solid. Backroom dealings exposed. A stall event. Gosh darn it. Prominent members of the armed forces, outspoken supporters of wealth voting, and close allies of Candido de Queiroz have been exposed in a corruption scandal, having exchanged political favors for personal gifts. One aide was all it took, one boy squeezing acne from his face in the right place at the right time to overhear the howling laughter, smell the rich tobacco blend, and spot Candido de Queiroz' new golden cufflinks. One honest fellow's word to the right ears, and it was all uncovered. So, such is the nature of politics, -15% enactment chance. Throw them to the wolves, we must clean up this mess, -10% enactment chance. The first one makes Candido de Queiroz very unpopular. This one costs us some bureaucracy, which is also not great. Or we can derive some benefit by participating ourselves. Reduce enactment time, but 1 setback. I'm going to go with the middle one. It's -10% enactment chance, which is not great, but we still got a decent chance of an advance here. The 10% flowed into debate instead of stall, so I'm feeling pretty okay with that. We've got a few. We've got one government admin in the queue, so we'll just throw that in at the top, and we'll get started with that. So this revolution bar is capped out at 86. That's the maximum, because that's the maximum amount of radicalism here, and we got this going faster at this point. Fort in a sea of anger. Mobs have surrounded the arsenal in Estremadura, threatening to seize the arms and munitions stored within. While the guards are staving off attacks for now, if no relief is sent, then the arsenal will fall to insurrectionists. I couldn't sleep last night. The commander refuses to accept terms, and firing continues from both the arsenal and the emplacements that now surround it. After one loud blast, I sprung out of bed and went onto my knees to pray as I'd never prayed before. Our relief column could escalate tensions, but it's necessary. 5% of servicemen pops become more radical. Or the mob could be emboldened by a surrender, but we need to take that risk. 5% of officer pops become more radical. I'm going to go... Both of these have an equal chance of... have an identical effect on revolution progress, statistically speaking. The first one is 66% chance of reducing progress by 5, 33% chance of increasing it by 10. The second one is 33% chance of reducing it by 10, 66% chance of increasing it by 5. So between those two, I think they're about equal. I'm going to go with servicemen pops becoming more radical instead of officers, because officers have a lot of political power in my regime. It did succeed in that check, so we reduced the revolution progress by just a bit. What I should do here is Where am I spending my authority? I do have some road maintenance decrees. I'm going to put a road maintenance decree that I've got in Beira off. Oh, that actually reduces... I did not know that was happening. Alright, so I do need to keep that one. Leastwise for now. I'm going to cancel the Greener Grasses campaign for Alentejo just for now. I'm going to cancel the road maintenance decree in the Transvaal. Or was it yeah, in the Transvaal. No, I just clicked Vrystaat. Alright. Infrastructure there is okay. We will need to build more gold mines there, more railways there, but that's okay. And I will use this to suppress the landowners. Because those guys are jerks. Looks like Britain is winning back in the war against China, so good for them. And construction is going faster than ever. Our investment pool is still pretty full. I should be increasing the size of the construction sector, but it's so much cash. Wondering if I should put all these units in Extremadura. Where are my other two armies? Let's be careful about that. So the Army of East Africa... Okay, they're all in Portugal. So, we'll all be ready for this stuff if things go buck wild. 11% risk for Alentejo. Don't like that number's going up. Catholic Church calls for intervention. The Catholic Church claims to have suffered under our immoral government for far too long, and now have nailed a list of demands to the door of the government office. A queen who rules without morality is nothing but a despot, no matter from whence she draws her worldly power. Do not underestimate how easily a regime which has lost its moral authority could be toppled. Let us grant them concessions and pray for peace. +5 approval, +10% strength. Or I don't care a fig what they want, they join the insurrection. I'm going to go with the first one. Stronger Catholic Church in the short term is a small price to pay to keep them happy. +5 approval is very significant. They're actually at +2 at this stage. So I am pretty pleased about that. I have space for one agitator. Can I bring in anyone? So I could bring in an authoritarian, Mikhail Kushalev Bezborodko, or a jingoist, Jürgen Scherfke. Neither of these people would be super useful to me right now, so I'm not worried about it. The Anti-Ottoman League offers opportunity. The Anti-Ottoman League has offered us an opportunity to establish a foreign investment rights agreement with Egypt. Their proposal, if accepted, is intended to counter Ottoman interests. It was a veiled sort of aggression, one which could in theory appeal to both ardent jingoists and those who preferred to mitigate losses. They would force the enemy to respond, possibly drive them toward a reckless confrontation in response to a seemingly benign maneuver. A plan to fight the Ottoman Empire to the last Egyptian, one minister remarked. The representative flushed. He had practiced responses along both lines, but none of them quite fit. I'd be happy to pursue this. This is not in our interests. I'll take the opportunity. We could potentially do something with that. The Portuguese Homesteading Society. Vasco Ferreira has assisted in founding a national organization dedicated to uniting the movement to enact homesteading under a national leadership. It bears mentioning, then, in the case that we succeed, what are we to do? The structure we are building may endure for generations. To allow it to dissolve would be a tragedy. We cannot depend upon all who join to continue and bear the torch going forwards. Our camp contains many people, all with their own reasoning for lending their ears. We must not imply to them that we demand their compliance in any other matter. They're harmless at worst, +10 movement support. Send them a firm reminder of our disapproval, -10 support, +15 radicalism. Or he's a man worth watching, extra popularity, 5 movement support. I'm going to go with the first one. I think more support for the movement to enact homesteading is just fine with me. Alright, so we got a lobby opportunity. This is just a lobby opportunity. It's not going to make the it's not going to make the guys happy, the lobby happy if we do it. Cuba's improving relations. That's interesting. Oman claims Zanzibar. Okay. Wish you wouldn't. Colonization of Zambezia complete. Excellent. What is our colonization status? Yeah, let's get started with these. Maybe not Sawana. They've got hella malaria. Oh, Zambezi has hella malaria as well. Hmm. We'll remove that. I don't want to grab those places. That's not going to be efficient until we've got malaria prevention anyways. I didn't realize. I thought we were... Well, it is what it is. How did Great Britain... Okay, no. They're not blocking us off here. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're where we want to be. Come on, wealth voting. Give me a good event. It's an almost 50% chance of a good event. Give me a good event. Please. Dang it. I got a negative debate event. Alright. Vultures upon a carcass. Where are we in the episode? 20 minutes in. Alright. Vultures upon a carcass. Opportunistic members of the petite bourgeoisie have defected to the landowner's cause. Carrying crows plucked from fresh deaths, no matter the cause. Some, however, sense that when a still living beast is about to die, the creature will wait however long it takes for said meal to die, but better to be the first there with the choicest pick of meat than hoping for scraps. So be it. Landowners stronger, petite bourgeoisie weaker, or try to coax them back. Reduced bureaucracy again. I'm going to do the second one. This is still going to strengthen the landowners a little bit, but it's not going to be too much. However, it is going to reduce the bureaucracy once again. So I'm going to add 2 more levels of bureaucracy into the construction queue. We'll throw those right in at the end of the build-up of the lead mines in the Shan states. And on top of that, Beira, because it still needs road maintenance, is going to have to get another railway. And then Vrystadt is also going to need another railway. We've got 3 levels of railways already. How are you possibly... Oh, no, it's not Vrystadt. It's Transvaal. Transvaal needs another railway. Whew. Almost scared myself there. Okay, but they're actually not urgent on that. So I can throw the one in Beira in at the top. We'll put this right below the gold mines in Vrystadt. And that'll be just fine. Defamatory article. A newspaper called the Alentejo Journal has printed a bigoted article about the Bakongo people living there. We can suppress the article or we can let it be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, they won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then righted himself. Of course they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. Suppress it, ignore it. Suppressing it costs me some authority. Ignoring it reduces standard of living for Bakongo people in Alentejo. I'm going to go with the first one. I can deal with a little bit of lost authority here without having myself a problem. Danish Niger is a country now. Not loving that. Still trying to urbanize. It's a process. I need more higher level urban center in Alentejo, which is slowly happening, but very slowly. So, in terms of my economic needs, I definitely need more iron. That's a for sure thing. And I think Alentejo is the ideal place to build up iron mines. So I'm going to queue in some iron mines and coal mines there for the end of the construction queue. Ugh, really wish we were not at 11% on this. Oh my goodness, a Germany. There's a Germany happening. There's a Germany happening and I'm not even invited to the diplomatic play. That's wild. Troubles of the Commons. Every tenancy of the landowners in Beira has rental prices beyond reasonable limits. Their tenants direct their ire at the government for not protecting them. Humans have 2 reactions in times of strife: seek culpability for their woes and address it accordingly, a sign of strength or fatal stupidity. Philosophers could debate until the end of days. They do agree it is not a sign of intelligence. The blame can be shifted, and those culpable profit most of all. Seize the ringleaders, increases civil war progress by 10%. 5% of aristocrats pops in Beira become more radical. Landowners get minus 10% political strength. They ought to be charged with extortion. Minus 10% plantations throughput. 2 rural folk approval. 5% civil war progress. Or rent needs a stern limit. Reduce civil war progress. Beira gets higher standard of living for the lower strata. I'm going to seize the ringleaders. Again, we're at 80 radicalization, so that means when this ticks over, it's going to go down instead of up, and that's fine. Weakening the landowners is very, very important. In fact, the weakening that we're doing of them is already having a pretty significant impact, and it's increasing the legitimacy of the government, which I'm feeling pretty pleased about overall. Britain and China came to peace. And Britain still has their treaty ports. Ooh, and we completed from farms to factories. That's wonderful. Road to progress. The Industrialists have expressed their satisfaction with the direction being taken by the country and its newly built factories. There's only one possible direction. Forward. Progress is like a train that doesn't stop, doesn't wait for anyone. You're either in or out. We've done this for our people, 20% loyalists from Standard of League increases for 5 years. And we shall support that train. Industrialists stronger and extra approval. Damn, 20% loyalists is a lot, but making the industrialists stronger is like strategically really important right now. No, I'm gonna say we've done this for our people. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna stick with that. We're increasing the everythings, and that's what we need to do. So I think while we're working on that, I'm gonna queue these gold mines to the bottom of the queue. And we're going to build up these textile mills and paper mills that we said we were going to build. Because that's going to have a really solid impact on standard of living. And then we'll put these extra barracks at the bottom. And the railway in Transvaal as well. And we'll get those gold mines going. And hopefully that'll be good for the standard of living. No event this time because revolution progress went down. Feeling pretty pleased about that. Only got 10%, but I got a 30% chance of an advance here. So I'm feeling pretty good. Actually, radicalization is going down here, and part of the reason that's happening is because the landowners are slowly weakening, and they're the ones who are primarily upset about this whole situation. So I'm feeling pretty good about the so-called impending revolution. We just got to not keep getting stall events over here, because those could be a problem. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding wealth voting, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the Industrialists, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. Wealth voting will be on everyone's lips now, 10% enactment chance. Sure puts the Industrialists in a good light, 10% stronger Industrialists. Or let's ensure the play gets a wider international audience. I'm going to go with the first one. 10% enactment chance is rock solid here. We got 307 prestige. Ethiopia is still kicking around at 90. So I'm hoping it's not going to be a problem if we transfer Gondar to them, but I'm not going to risk it right now whilst we're in the middle of a situation. A lot of colonization's getting kicked off in Africa that I'm not super pleased with, but it is what it is. Are these malarial areas? Yes, they are. Yeah. It's oops all malaria. Anyway, hopefully these textile mills will increase standard of living some. Textile mills are pretty good jobs overall. Relations with Burma are improving. And our liberty desire is going down for others. I think I want to wait and get Burma down first. Bulungan is not critical to decrease, but getting Burma down will be really nice. And they're going down at a reasonable speed in terms of liberty desire because they're dependent on us economically. Maguinda now as well, so similar type of situation, although they'll be more so if we build in them. But obviously I want to continue focusing on my own situation. Ooh. Great Britain is going after Morocco, and I wish they would not. Oh my gosh, they've got a bunch of different countries trying to get independence. United Tribes, British Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Tripolitania. Bolivia is improving relations. That's really interesting. Alright, so I may not be able to rely on British help as much with this revolution, but again, with me suppressing the landowners, the revolution is slowly getting weaker, so I'm feeling pretty okay overall. And I know that people who say they're feeling confident over and over again are just notoriously the most confident people. I mean, that's just a sign that you're not scared at all, and you definitely think the right thing is going to happen. Although, actually, Antiottoman just fell right off the number of states that could potentially throw in on here. So that's good. All signs are objectively pointing to good places, but that doesn't mean that I'm not nervous because this is a hard run we're in. Oh, there's triage. All right. So right away, I'm gonna throw first aid into the mobilization rules for all of our armies. What does my tobacco situation look like? Because I can give the boys tobacco. Oh, I got tons. I've got tons of tobacco. We'll absolutely give them tobacco. 10 out of 10. All right, that should help. That's also going to help my armies. Dissenters break ranks. Another stall event. This one is not great. To outside observers, the Industrialists may appear firmly committed to the idea of wealth voting, but behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now, a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of the reform. For how long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, and our own desires left unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. Splitters, may the devil take them, minus 15% enactment chance, significantly weakens the Industrialists. Loosen our purse strings, perhaps we can get some of them back, minus 10% enactment chance, slightly weakens the Industrialists, but throws in government expenses, or offer them custodianship over a new draft, one setback, plus 10% enactment time, minus 5% Industrialists, but plus 5% success chance. I'm going to go with the middle one. Losing some success chance isn't a huge problem here. I still have some chances of advance events. In fact, I've got a solid chance of advance events. All these stall events are statistical anomalies over and over. And I can afford it because it's not me paying for it, it's India. O City of Plenty, the most prominent members of Extremadura high society have been seen organizing luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Marble walls, shimmering stone. The noise of people coming and going brings the city back to life when we didn't even know it was dead. Tall buildings cover the sunset, kids play with bricks, smoke blends with the clouds, and a distant bell announces the next train. Progress is coming. So this is an event I'm hoping we're going to see a lot. We have two options here. Let them celebrate. 10% of upper and middle stardom pops in the state become more loyal. Or the party will never end. 25% become more loyal, but plus 3 minimum expected standard of living. I am always going to go with the second one, because standard of living for the upper stardom is absurdly high. For example, if you go to Extremadura, if this is bad, I'm going to be... Alright, so their standard of living is 35... is 38 right now, and their... minimum expected is 19. So, I think we can very solidly keep our numbers above that. I'm feeling extremely confident. And actually, if the amount of radicalization in this movement continues to go down and not get us events, I'll be pretty pleased with that overall. Seems like we might get a revolutionary event, but in any case, it won't be a problem. We are getting close to the end of the episode, so I'm basically going to go to the end of the year and then be done, and then we'll check again next year. And still no event. Wonderful. Feeling pretty pleased. Feeling very pleased. Wish I could get either a success or a good solid advance event on this, but, it is what it is. Let me see. Liberty Desire for Burma is going down steadily. We got them up to 13 opinion. Once we get them past 20, it'll be even better. Do I dare get up to some nonsense while this is happening? I don't think so. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Particularly with my finances being weak on account of I've got the taxes bottomed out just to make sure that my legitimacy is as high as I can keep it. It's not as high as I would like. The Industrialists are still powerful, though, and I'm looking to keep that going. You know what we'll do? We'll throw more universities in the capital. I think that's a good play. Because that's going to strengthen the Intelligentsia even further. And that's useful to us in terms of this movement and in terms of our needs as an empire overall. I think I'll intersperse the mines with the universities. But, because these are all things I want to get going. But I think that's how I'm gonna continue to handle this situation and keep this revolution from getting too buck wild. Does appear that North German Federation is losing their war. Law advancement, excellent, plus 15%. 145 days, yikes. But no revolution event. Feeling very, very happy about that. Radicalism ticked up again, which I'm not happy about. But hopefully, again, building these solid industrial buildings is going to increase the standard of living in the country. And I've just gone way over the end of the episode and the end of the year, which is very smart, and I'm so good at YouTube. Alright, that is the end of tonight's episode. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.